All right, how you doing? Good. Do you want to take your jacket off and make yourself comfortable? You can just put it on the counter there. We're going to be talking for a bit here. So, I'm Judge Lou. I'm one of two Hope MORR judges in Salem Superior Court. And Hope MORR is the kind of probation that you have been placed on. We have put you on this kind of probation because we think you'll do much better on this kind of probation. We expect that you will do a lot better on this probation. But this is very different. It looks like you have in the past been on probation, but this is very different than old-fashioned probation. This is very different in a couple of ways. This is about fairness and accountability. Please pay close attention to what I tell you as I describe this kind of probation. It's about fairness and accountability. It's about accountability because every time you have a violation, even a small one, even a very small one, it will go right to the judge, 99% of the time me. And it's about accountability in that every time, or almost every time you have a violation, except in the most extraordinary situations, incredibly rare situations, except in incredibly rare situations, you will be detained. But you'll be detained in relation to what the violation is. And you'll be detained generally for just 2 to 4 days. But the way they count the days, 2 days is a night in jail. And this will happen very quickly, and it'll go right to the judge. It's also different in another way. It's different in that it is fair. So under old-fashioned probation, you may know, I don't know whether you know, but you may know that under old-fashioned probation, you could get a whole bunch of little violations. And, you know, they talk to you a bunch and things like that, and you wouldn't see the judge for the first few, and not much would be done. And then after you get a bunch of little violations, you get a couple of years in the House of Correction or something like that. So that's not going to happen because every small violation is going to be treated with fairly, generally with a small detention. And whatever happens, we'll take a look at it and we'll treat it fairly. We won't let you build up a bunch of little things and then all of a sudden hit you with a couple of years. That's not what this is about. In this kind of probation, Hope MORR probation, your success is up to you. Everyone here wants you to succeed in the biggest way. That includes me, that includes the clerk, most definitely the probation officers, court security, my assistant, Ms. Hobson, and anyone I'm forgetting to mention. We all want you to succeed in a big way. The reason we want you to succeed is because we care about you as a human being. We want you to win. We want this to be the turnaround for you to a really good life. We're looking for you to be really successful. That's what's going on with this. And I meant to say Mr. Sweeney, who was here just a second ago, but I guess he stepped out. We're looking for you to do really well. And, you know, we don't get any extra pay or not one cent of extra pay or anything like that. The only reward we get is helping you to do well and to win. And it's because we care about you as a person, as a human being. So I want to talk to you about examples of what I mean by accountability. I really do mean that every violation will be treated immediately, and almost always you'll be detained, sent to jail for a very short time. So it looks like you do have drug testing, so you'll be required to do the color assignment program, and you'll be required to get drug tested when your color comes up, and you're going to have to call there every day. And it does happen on weekends. On the other hand, if you do well, then in other words, if you test negative all the time, then the amount that you have to test will go down fast. And that general idea is true of your entire probation. If you do well on this probation, you'll never see me again. So it's important that you follow the color code very carefully. If you miss a drug test, we will issue a warrant for your arrest. And you'll be detained for 2 to 4 days, which really most of the time amounts to one night in jail. if you miss a drug test or do anything that is a problem on your probation, you have any violation of your probation, really probably the number one rule is you walk through the doors of the courtroom and come and see me. It's good to call your probation officer, all that's good, but the number one thing is to walk through the doors of the courtroom and come and see me. Now normally I'd be over here in that big courtroom next door, so I'm expecting you to come in those doors and come and see me and check in with me. I don't care what the probation officer tells you on the phone or what you understand them to be saying or anything like that. You gotta come and see me. And here's why. Because if you have a problem on probation, this is real life, okay? This is about accountability and fairness. So most people have one or two small problems, bumps in the road. If you have bumps in the road, but you come in, you walk in the door and tell us before we even hear about that bump in the road, for example, then I can have confidence in you. Confidence, because every time you have a problem, I have to figure out, is public safety unreasonably threatened here? Is this an unreasonable problem for public safety? And if you're coming in here when I need you immediately, then I have better confidence in you, and then I know, for example, that a night in jail is all it takes for you to, for us to reasonably protect public safety, and for you to kind of get back on your best game. So you got to come in here and see if you have any. They have this thing called being in warrant status. Warrant status means that you have a warrant issued by us, but you're not in custody, basically on the run or something. Most of the time, including right now, there are 0 people in warrant status on Superior Court open law probation. 0 people. And that's because we give it high priority. We make it our business to find the people right away. I am going to give you a couple more examples. So if you go to the hospital, if you go to the emergency room, for example, and you get admitted to the hospital and you miss an appointment, that's no problem if you're admitted. On the other hand, it's common nowadays for folks to sit around in the emergency room all day and not get admitted to the hospital and then get some treatment and get sent home. That is not going to be an excuse. So if you go to the emergency room but do not get admitted, then you're going to be detained overnight as a result of doing that. If you go to the emergency room and you're admitted, make sure you get paperwork showing that you were admitted to the hospital, not just that you sat in one of those rooms for a long time. Who are you going to live with?
I live in Lynn.
With who?
My girlfriend.
Anybody else? Any kids?
We have 3 kids.
Are they your kids?
No, they're my girlfriend's.
How old are the kids?
The youngest is 8, middle 12, and the oldest is 16.
And do you help to take care of them?
Yes, I
Do
do.
you consider them to be your kids?
They are mine.
Okay. All right. So they're looking for you to be successful on this probation, and I bet they want me to be doing what I'm doing on Hope More Probation with you. I mean, I got your papers in front of me. So there's a lot of temptations and stuff, and Lynn, a lot of bad stuff. So you need to be strong and take responsibility for everything you do. So how are you going to support yourself?
I'm looking for work these days.
What kind of work?
Warehouse.
You think you're going to find something, or what's the
I'm
situation?
hoping soon.
So you can't be using drugs,
I didn't use drugs. I was just selling drugs.
okay? You can't be selling drugs. You can't get any, I don't know what these are, domestics or anything? You can't be getting domestics. You can't put your hands on your girlfriend or anything like that. I'm going to be paying close attention. Basically, I'm your probation officer. It's going to come right to me if anything comes up. You can't be drinking and driving or doing crazy stuff behind the wheel either. Okay, so do you have any questions for me?
No?
Okay, all right. I got all your paperwork in front of me. I got a good picture of you. Your profile, what we call your profile, you're perfect for Hope More Probation. I think you're going to be incredibly successful. That does not mean that you aren't going to get some bumps in the road, some problems here and there, but I think you're going to be incredibly successful. If you have a problem, you come in those doors, like the doors next door, and see me. We'll take care of it. We'll be reasonable, we'll be fair, but we're going to hold you accountable. Don't let there be any warrants out there for you. If something happens and you get a warrant even somewhere else, come here first and tell us about it before we know about it. We want you to do really well. If you get bumps in the road, problems, don't get down on yourself. Just pick yourself up and get yourself in here. Come in here and tell me about it, and we'll deal with it. We think you're going to be incredibly successful on this probation, but you got to be working hard at it. Okay?
Yep.
All right, so on behalf of your 3 kids and your family and everybody here, I'm looking forward to you winning on this probation.
So,
All right, good luck to you.
thank you.